Hello, everyone. Santi here, also known as Ben, joined once again by my sister for more Majora's Mask. We're on this pause menu screen because I don't want time to move on Majora's Mask until we're done with our introduction.
That makes sense.
Also, let's equip some Deku Seeds
Might as well.
to C down, which is Z, because this is on the GameCube controller because I'm playing on the Wii Virtual Console. Wii! I can't save on this screen because this is Majora's Mask. But we do have a lovely map that's mostly fog.
Thank you, Tingle, for the map.
Yeah, of course. Okay, this is something that I didn't think about.
Mm-hmm.
So this screen is, of course, the stuff screen where we have like songs and whatever the heck goes here. Whatever the heck goes here.
Maybe a bomb bag? No, I think bomb bags probably go under the sword and stuff like that.
No, I think bomb bags are probably.
No, not bombs. Bomb bag. Because
Maybe.
like there's a quiver and there's like a bomb bag and you can get bigger sizes of them.
Heart pieces, remains, but your sword and shield are over here. It's Kokiri's sword still, and the hero's shield, wherever that came from. A few other random odds and ends. Because there's a mask screen here instead of the equip screen.
Can you do anything with this since there's nothing on there right now? No, it's just skipped over
It
it.
literally just goes back and forth.
That's interesting.
Also, I don't know why this feels so much more responsive than the previous menu. I think either the Virtual Console is significantly more responsive than the GameCube version, which is distinctly possible. But,
Interesting, because that's not something that I'm able to assess, because it's you touching the buttons. So it feels like it does it more quickly.
Yeah, this feels way more responsive than...
That might help with aiming and shooting arrows and stuff then.
Well, that's in up-down.
That's up-down
stick,
more than the timing.
probably.
It's the up-down thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're about to shoot a balloon with some bubbles. Let's see if the up-down is inverted.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Let us see. I love spinning as Deku Scrub, by the way.
Yeah.
I just saw you spinning, so I had to
That's good
mention it.
times.
It's fun to spin. All right. Is it inverted? You hit B.
I'm not
There
sure.
you go. So why do you think this balloon has Majora's mask on it?
I think I'm too far away.
I think so too.
I'm not sure.
Haha. Are you the one who just popped that up there? Not bad for a Deku Scrub. We bombers have a hideout that leads to the observatory outside town.
Boy, they're really hammering this point home.
Mm-hmm. You need a code to get in. Maybe I'll tell you what it is. But don't think you're getting it that easily. I can't just tell you what the code is. You have to pass my test first. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, line up, guys. If you can find all 5 of us by tomorrow morning, I'll teach you the code. Are you ready? I like that. That's cute. All right. See if you can find them. More like catch them than find them, right? Haha. Aw, you caught me. Now there are only 4 left. No, they're gonna count down. How do they know the other ones got caught?
Some things you just do because it's better gameplay.
I know. Aw, you caught me. Now there are only 3 left.
It's like the Carpenters. Hi, Sakon.
Ooh, Sakon.
It's like the Carpenters in the.
They knew that you'd rescued their fellows. Yeah, in the Thieves' Hideout in Gerudo Fortress.
Yeah.
Wait, did I just hear a cuckoo crow? I guess that's to let you know that's where he is. But it was like, it's not morning. Why is he crowing? Ow! Did you just hurt the cuckoo?
Maybe a little bit.
I hope they don't send its friends after you. Aw, you caught me. Now there are only 2 left.
Is there another one? Yeah, there.
Yeah, I see him. How did he get up there? I guess he has a key to the sock hut in.
I mean, local kid visits the inn, probably pretty
Yeah.
easy.
Aw, you caught me. There's only 1 left. West Clocktown, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I just realized we haven't been menaced by the dog yet.
Haven't spent a whole lot of time in South Clocktown and haven't
Yeah.
actually visited West Clocktown yet.
No, you haven't. Or Laundry Pool.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't see anything.
Visiting here at night was maybe not the best.
I can
method
see the
for
Rosa
visibility.
sisters, and there's a design on the ground, and nothing else. I actually like West Clocktown. I like the way it's going uphill, and it's got the stairs on one side and the ramp or whatever on the other. I think it's a really this was a real life place with like little shops going along that road. That would be like a pedestrian walkway. That'd be a really cool
Gotcha.
thing. I think.
Aha.
I think that's pretty neat. Oh no way! You finally got me. And it's cool also to think about how in East Clocktown and I'm gonna say Central Clocktown, South Clocktown, you have like a staircase or a ramp or whatever to get to the elevation, and in West Clocktown you've got like this long like staircase / ramp hill thing to get like just seeing how you get the same elevation change in different
ways. For sure.
And also West Clocktown has like 2 connections to South Clocktown, and East Clocktown has a connection to South Clocktown and to North Clocktown. Like just some of those different ways that they connect is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You're pretty good for a Deku Scrub. If only you were human. Now, is this what I'm going to say human instead of like hylian?
I don't know, actually. That's a really good question.
Because they're not human, they have pointy ears.
Well, and one of the things, yeah, for sure. One of the things that I've noticed is I think that they were a lot looser with their fantasy terms in some of these earlier games.
I think so.
This is a translation thing that's just happened over time. I don't know what the original Japanese here would be, but I just feel like some of that stuff is something that's tightened up over time.
I think that's probably the case.
Because like I was noticing in the Ocarina of Time episode, and I put notes on the screen for it, but like the weird egg hatched into a chicken.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and I don't know if it was weird because it hatched into a chicken or if it was just like a translation
versus being a cuckoo
oddity.
is what you mean.
Yeah, because they call them cuckoos normally. So like you even have the weird oddity when you're is it when you're a kid at night or is it when you're an adult? Anyway, I think it might be when you're a kid at night or something. But Anju is hanging out in one of the buildings in Kakariko and talks about raising cuckoos and getting goosebumps or whatever. She talks about that. But there's a man next to her or like in the same room. If you go talk to him, he talks about her raising chickens. So I think that there was just like I don't know how big the translation teams were, but maybe they were just localizing things slightly differently, and that led to some inconsistencies. So I could see something like that happening
and
here
also
too.
like the mythology. I was going to say not being codified. Like we were talking about this before, where the earlier games talk a lot about Din and Nehru and Furore, and the newer games talk a lot about Hylia.
Yeah.
And like Hylia is like not a thing in these games.
Yeah, and like you've
and
got
then Din, Furore, and Nehru are kind of not a thing in the later games. It feels like too.
Yeah.
Except as like a remnant of the Triforce being in 3 parts. I suppose you could.
And you
say,
have
but...
references like Lineru. And
obviously like
Farron.
and you have like Hylia as well, and in Ocarina of Time.
But like Farron is a reference to Furore. Dinral, because in Breath of the Wild you have the dragons of Dinral.
Yeah.
Lineru and Farron.
Yeah, they're basically the references, but like they didn't really have the idea of Hylia, I feel like, until almost like Skyward Sword or something.
Yeah.
And then she's been in Breath of the Wild as a prominent feature and stuff too. So like I feel like there's definitely a degree of they hadn't completely codified things.
I mean, this was only like the 5th Zelda game or something,
and it's only the second one that's 3D too.
Yeah, and that's including the very first one where like you just don't have room for lore on the NES. There's some in Zelda 2, but I'm not super familiar with Zelda 2 and its lore and how it handles that. But again, that NES title, you have limited space there. And there's a lot of stuff that was like grabbed for future games. Like Mido is the name of a town, and like the names of the sages and stuff in Ocarina of Time are like lifted from names of places in Zelda 2.
That makes sense. Ocarina of Time is a prequel to Zelda.
Yeah.
To Zelda 1. No, Link to the third one. Link to the Past?
I mean, the whole thing's a bit jumbled.
Yeah.
But like...
got Link's Awakening as well.
You have... Rudo is the name of a village in that, for example. You have Mido's name of a village and stuff like that. I think Saria might be a name of a village. So like there's a lot of... And you'd have to double check, because I'm not super up on my... Zelda 2 knowledge.
Yeah, I certainly don't.
I own the GBA port and have barely played it because that game's hard. But there's a lot of stuff like that where it'd be really cool actually to get a more modern like remake of that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting off track. So, but who doesn't want a spell where you turn into a fairy? So definitely like a lot of the room for lore didn't really start showing up until Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask.
And Link's Awakening.
Yeah, but Link's Awakening
It's the weird one, yeah.
like it contributes to what's going on, but like it's so far removed from the other Zelda games.
Would you say this one is also similarly removed? Since it's not in Hyrule. It's
yeah, I would say it's similarly removed. Like, a lot of the ones that don't take place in Hyrule are a lot more removed from the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does Colahint or Subrosia or Holdrum or whatever from
the
like,
Oracle
the
games.
or Link's Awakening is Colahint, I think. Like, there's concepts from them that certainly get integrated into future games. But in terms of like massively contributing to the sort of core lore,
Ganondorf is not a character in this, for example.
Yeah, so it's interesting to sort of like think about like mechanical parallels and like various Narvazatl elements. I'm gonna bust that word out
as an adverb, even.
Yeah. For those who are not familiar, just to repeat, Narvazad is a term that I coined with vernacular games. With a guy there who goes by Redcoat, and it refers to it's short for narrative, visual, and audio. But it's we spent a long time in a thesaurus, couldn't find a word that made us happy. It's very similar and analogous to like the concept of like flavor, but we're trying to elevate it to being sort of co-equal with mechanics. So
I should correct myself. You use it as an adjective, by the way, not an adverb. Narvazatl elements. But yeah, well, I think that there's definitely, like, I think they call it early installment weirdness.
Yeah.
Of where they haven't figured out what they're doing yet. They haven't codified things yet. It's like proto Zelda, you also want to say, where they're still figuring out what it means to be a Zelda game. We talked a lot about how Ocarina of Time really feels like a template for especially things like Twilight Princess.
Yes.
And where they're kind of like doing the things they did in that game.
It kind of serves as a base for the 3D Zelda games. And to some extent, I think Breath of the Wild was re-examining that. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I'm really curious, not just for Breath of the Wild 2, but for whatever Zelda game comes afterwards. Mm-hmm. Right? That is not, like, part of the Breath of the Wild continuity.
To see how they handle things.
Yeah, to see, okay, how do you want to approach stuff? But I'm curious to see, like, okay, does Breath of the Wild 2, what sort of things does that change about the formula?
But yeah, so they were still early enough days that they hadn't figured out things like, oh, this species is called hylian, not human. This species is called cuckoo, not chicken, etc. And as you said, it might have been different translators working on different bits, and one translated as cuckoo and translated as chicken.
And that's the thing too, is like the understanding of how to present this stuff has evolved over time.
Yeah.
The whole way localization has been handled has changed over time. Like the seriousness with which localizers treat this stuff also has increased over time. Because like a good example of this is Mr. Mime in Pokemon. I read a story where like there's a couple of people working on the translation, and one person was looking towards the future of like, what if they introduce gender in a future game, and we're going to feel silly about baking Mr. into the name of this Pokemon. Like, maybe there can be female versions. Obviously, we know that's happened. But, you know, at the time, they just, like, it'll be fine.
This is a random kids game from Japan that 3 people are going to play. It's fine. Don't put too much thought into it. And oops, it's a big, huge juggernaut of a game series.
It's a global media phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right? And so maybe you didn't want to call it Mr. Mime off of Barriered.
It was Japanese.
Yeah,
barrier.
Japanese name is something like Barriered.
Because he makes barriers.
Exactly. This is like, oh, okay, maybe you kind of messed up a little bit there.
Or even like, this is a weird one, but I'm just thinking like, I have Harry Potter. Oh, actually, this is better than I thought. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was renamed Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for the U.S. because they thought a kid wouldn't know what a Sorcerer's Stone was. Or a Philosopher's Stone, excuse me, what a Philosopher's Stone was, and it would be too confusing. They'd think philosopher is like a thinker rather than like a
Yeah.
magician. So they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone. Clearly, if they knew it was going to be a really big deal where it'd be internationally famous, they would not have wanted to change the name of it.
Yeah.
But what I was actually going to say before I realized that was a really good point too was I have a copy of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's / Philosopher's Stone in Italian. And they changed the names of a lot of the characters. Like, obviously, Harry Potter's the same. But, like, a lot of the professors, like Professor McGonagall is like Professor McGranit or something like that. And, like, Professor Snape is something completely different. They changed the names. I'm assuming to give them kind of... Because a lot of the names in Harry Potter have, like... I don't want to say puns, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they might have wanted to like change them to have that kind of feel of the names still exist in the other languages or something.
Right.
But they changed some of the names. And I remember back when the 6th Harry Potter book came out, and there was, spoilers I guess if you care about this, they discover a locket that has a note in it with the initials R.A.B. And people were trying, you know, obviously the fandom is huge, wanted to figure out what was going to happen, speculation, all of this. We're trying to figure out, okay, who is R.A.B.? A lot of people guessed Regulus Black, Sirius's younger brother. And we're looking at, in any of the translations, did they keep it R.A.B. or did they change the initials to match when they changed Sirius Black's last name to something different? Right? And some of the translations changed the initial B to reflect a different last name, and some of them didn't, even though they had changed the name. So I don't know how they ended up dealing with that, because I never followed up with that, obviously. I just remember the speculation at the time of thinking R.A.B. was Regulus Arcturus Black. But, like, you know, if you're making this change of it's some random kid's book that 5 people are going to read, let's just change the name for American audiences, or let's change the name of some of the characters for... you know, our Italian audience or whatever, no one's going to care. And then it blows up into this huge thing where it's like... I don't know if the Italian fans of Harry Potter, I imagine they probably call them McGonagall and not McGranit or whatever. I had to grab the book to see the actual names. But, you know, they probably call them by the actual names.
Yeah.
But, like, you're not necessarily thinking about that when you're doing the translation.
Yeah.
But should you be thinking about that?
Yeah, and that's a good question. And it's like, what's the best approach to take? And the thing is, you can't predict if something's going to become a huge hit. But like, how have, and I don't know the answer to this, but how has localization philosophy changed from, you know, the early 2000s to now?
Or even just like, I've talked about this before, I feel like, with fantasy, because I remember someone talking about translating a Chinese novel into English, and that like there's a lot of like kind of cultural Chinese stuff that's in it that would be really hard to deal with. And they were talking about how like, you know, because like things like different ways you address people in Chinese, I guess, is different in Chinese culture, like calling people by nicknames versus their given name and various things.
I'm going to advance this so we can...
Well, I just wanted to say really fast. And so, but people were pointing out that if you're making this for a fantasy readers, they're used to dealing with like weird terminology. Like just, you know, you don't have to, like, you can give them the weird terminology and then put a glossary in the back. They'll be fine. But if you're not used to what is regular for fantasy readers, you might not realize that you can just do that and they'll go with it as like a fantasy element rather than like a foreign culture element.
Yeah, because fantasy is often dealing with foreign cultures.
Yeah, so like the fantasy readers would be fine with this. It would not be a problem. But if you're the translator, you might not realize that. What you're going to say is that I feel like maybe there might be more connection of fantasy, where the idea that we don't use the term human in fantasy because none of them are human. They're hylian and Gerudo, blah, blah, blah. They might have been thinking about things like that when they're doing this translation, that this is a fantasy game. And so they're probably just thinking about, oh, they're humans, right, versus other creatures or whatever. So I think if there's more of an awareness of fantasy as a genre, there might be more awareness of, oh, we shouldn't use that word.
Yeah.
Anyway, if only you were human, then I could give you an original Bomber's Notebook and make you a member. What do you guys think? No way, no scrubs. I guess not. Once we let some kid who wasn't human join our gang, and boy did we ever regret it. Sorry.
Interesting racism going on here.
I was going to talk about that, but I was going to let you do it while you're moving around so we're not stuck on the cutscene too long. Sorry. But I'll teach you the code. Just like I promised. I can tell you only once though, so pay close attention. Let me write this down. Are you ready? All right.
42315.
I have to use my left hand. This is going to be awkward. I'm going to switch hands holding the microphone. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, Ben's going to hold it for me. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
4, 2, 3, 1, 5.
So this is just going to be true for this save file.
Yes, they randomize it. Okay. The entrance to our hideout is in East Clocktown. But yeah, like, I thought that was interesting as well when I was thinking about it, and I wanted to mention it, that the child logic, I guess, that we had one non-human in our gang and he was awful, so no non-humans allowed. If you end up pass through, say the code, 42315. I'll put it right here so you can see it. It feels like really child logic of clear.
Oh, I got it.
Better try again.
Yep.
Which did you do wrong? Did you not do the 5 all the way or something?
No, I don't know. I did it
Okay.
wrong.
But just that logical thought process of, that's right, if you know the code, then you remember, right? Okay, here you go. There's a lot of cool stuff at that Helicopter guy's place. Oh, yeah, and the Bomber Secret Society of Justice Forever. I like how he gives you a salute or something. But that childish logic of, oh, clearly the reason he was a problem is because he wasn't hylian or wasn't human or whatever. That's clearly what the problem was. And it's not just we shouldn't let skull children in, it's we shouldn't let all non-humans in. Like, right? It wasn't a Deku scrub that was a problem. It was a skull kid. But we shouldn't, you just go around it. It's fine. Or you can do this. You have to get his backside.
Yeah, whatever.
I always go around. I never, on the water, I never go through there. So it's just automatic to me. I just go walk around. But just that logic of, I wonder how the Schomburg knows the skull kid. Whoa, look at the time. Yes, we know. They're not just saying here as an individual that was a problem. It was what characteristic was a problem and latching on the observable difference of, oh, he wasn't human, rather than...
They didn't pop up a thing to tell me about the magic jar I just picked up. Refills my magic meter.
Okay, I think that's fine. Did you want it to? Yo, hey baby, I'm a styling scarecrow wandering in search of pleasant music. Time will pass in the blink of an eye if you dance with me. If you're like a baby, we can forget the time and dance till dawn.
No.
Oh, sorry, that's too bad. In that case, come back anytime if you do decide you want to dance. By the way, I know of a mysterious song that allows you to manipulate the flow of time.
But I'm not going to tell you.
Do you want to learn it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, now listen up. If you play that strange song backwards, you can slow the flow of time. And if you play each note twice in a row, then you can move a half day forward through time. How's that? Pretty interesting, isn't it? But I'm sure I'd like any song written by you better, baby. If you like, you can play one for me. I believe in the 3DS remake, you don't have to just do it half a day. Like, you can choose what time you go to.
Yeah, I don't remember on that front.
I like this. I think they changed the design of that staircase in the 3DS remake too. But,
I think it's more rainbowy.
in this one, it's more rainbowy, or the other one is more rainbowy?
Boy, just being consistent with my Ocarina of Time playthrough, I have the best ability to pick camera angles.
I guess this way we can see the moon sphere or something. At least we can see his face, even if we can't see our own, right?
Yep.
Well, well, a strange-looking child has joined me today. Are you a new friend of the Bombers gang? Your manners seem much better than those of your mischievous friend from the other day. Did you say mischievous?
Yeah.
There's no I. Did you know that? Mischievous? There's no I there. Mischievous. It's like mischief with an O-U-S added on the end, and you turn the F into a V.
But sometimes it's mischievous.
That's a Pokemon.
I know.
This is the Pokemon podcast now.
It is.
Herf, herf, herf. What a herf, herf, herf. That was really weird. Anyway, that ill-mannered troublemaker from the other day said he'd break my instruments. He said he'd steal my moon's tear. There was no stopping him. Even now, just watch him. He's probably causing trouble around the clock tower. Will you gaze into the telescope?
Yes. But he takes us as we are, as opposed to the...
Children, yeah. That. I just think it's interesting that, like... Because I think people do that, where they latch on to the observable characteristic of, oh, he's different in this way, and that's why he was a problem, and then we assume all others like that are a problem, rather than as like there's an individual thing about him.
And the more mature thing is take people as individuals.
Yeah. You can see Dawn's coming. On the moon's
The
crying.
3DS remake has a wider mouth on the moon.
Wow, that was a really weird noise.
Yeah, it's super crunchy.
He's shaking his butt at us.
Yep.
It's cool seeing the searchlight thing going on at night. Well, did you find that troublemaker? And that loud noise, what was that? Perhaps another moon steer has fallen nearby. Go through that door and take a look outside. But I wonder how that troublemaker got on top of the clock tower. The only way up there, this is useful information for us, right? The way up there is through the clock door, and that opens only on the eve of the carnival.
They're definitely directing you really strongly.
Yeah.
On, like, do these things in order to progress.
Mm-hmm. Get this info. Ben, we left Clocktown.
We did.
Now, if we were here in the daytime, they'd be playing the music,
What's the
probably,
plus sign
right?
on the backside of that?
The plus sign.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at it. Oh,
Plus sign.
it's probably a star.
Oh.
Like a 4-pointed star.
I guess I can see that.
I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to be. It's kind of like, it points in, like it gets thick, it gets skinnier at the
Yeah.
ends. It's a compass rose.
Oh, there you go.
How's that? Its sparkling beauty radiates rather strangely, says the narrator. It's blue text, so it tells us narrator. Look at how this has constellations on the outside. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
It's interesting.
Why does this get smaller, by the way? The camera? Why does it do that?
It's because...
I just find it weird that it does that.
Yeah.
What were we trying to say about the constellations?
Oh, no, I was talking about how I was doing the camera thing that you were observing.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the appearance of this... Oh, there's no music. Weird. What do you think of the way they do the time? Because I know they changed it for the 3DS where it's like more of a bar along the bottom. Rather than having like the sun is going in a circle for an hour and they have this thing that shows 6 o'clock that moves
I think
across.
the 3DS one is clearer.
Uh-huh. It reminds me definitely of how people don't use the analog clocks as much anymore. Because this is much more like an analog clock.
It is.
But also that has the actual time where this you have to kind of guesstimate. Like right now, what is it? You know, we're getting to 7:30, but right now, is it 7:36 or 7:37? Who knows? All right, so we know where the skull kid is. Let's go ask around the clock tower. Maybe we'll learn something. Yeah, we'll find the guy around the clock tower. Whoa, look at the time. You don't even have 2 days left. Yeah, they're really helping you get through.
Yeah, that's part of why I'm looking is like, because as you were bringing it up, I remember you mentioning that you had heard people had difficulty with this game.
Yeah, it's like they guide you really clearly. I love how there's a clock in here, by the way.
Yeah.
We just walked past a clock, and it's like, why is there a clock in here?
Does the astronomer have to go through here to get back to Clocktown?
I don't know if he ever leaves his astronomy place.
Maybe he lets the bombers play there in exchange they bring him groceries.
That could be. I love that they change the song every day. Like, the first day is happy, cheerful. This one's still pretty cheerful, but it's a little bit more somber, maybe, which fits with the, it's raining. I like how they have a difference in the temperature, too. Or temperature, oh my goodness.
The weather.
The weather, that it's raining now. I think that's also neat. And then the third day, like, you get more of those undertones of, being scared and stuff. I'm sorry, our rooms are filled. Does she have a pendant of memories on, too? That must be like a thing that husbands give wives, kind of. Sort of thing. See, she's got a pendant on?
Yeah.
Looks like the one... Spoilers? I don't know. Will be giving her daughter a pendant of memories from her Sweetheart Cafe. Later on. Andrew's grandmother. She has no name. Her room is very red. And her diary is hilarious. Granny's diary. She doesn't have a name. She calls herself Granny. We're going to take refuge at Romani Ranch tomorrow. I guess it really will fall.
I mean, to be fair, our parents will call themselves by mom and dad.
Yeah, they will, but that's like when they're
that's true.
Talking to us or something or whatever.
About each other to us.
Or even dad will refer to his mom as, being our grandma when it's like talking to us about her maybe.
Yeah.
And whereas otherwise he'd call her mom,
Mm-hmm.
But not just I don't think our grandmother calls herself that when she's writing in her diary if she has one, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not.
Anyway, we're gonna take refuge at Grandma's ranch tomorrow. Leaving my lifelong home and fleeing is unbearable, but nothing can be done. I think I'll take several of Gampy's favorite books. We'll have to go back and read this on day 1, because on day 1, because we just saw her most recent entry.
Yeah.
If you read it on day 1, you get a different entry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I'm sorry, our rooms are filled. She has horrible fashion sense. Go back and go back and look at her. She's wearing a green sweater with a yellow collar, I guess.
That's
like
a busy collar.
Like there's like a collar. I feel like she's got a shirt on underneath, and
that feels like a Victorian collar.
So she's got like this.
Or Elizabethan.
She's got like Elizabethan, yeah, the rough collar. Well, I feel like she's got a turtleneck, an orange turtleneck, an orange striped turtleneck, and then a green striped sweater over top of it. Oh, there's Andrew leaving, and a brown skirt, and she's wearing blue pants underneath her brown skirt and red shoes. She's a nightmare. A fashion nightmare.
Mom would approve.
Yeah, our mom loves wearing too many colors. Oh, that was terrifying to behold.
Gotta tease Mom a little bit.
Yeah. Andrew is going to a laundry pool, which we have not been to a laundry pool yet.
We have not.
Did she already make her way over here? Oh, I have to do British accent again. Oh no, I need to get in the mindset of British. Okay, wait, hang on. I can't just do it on demand. I have to like get into that thought process.
You have to have your trigger phrase.
I guess. I don't know what it is. This is my private property. Don't try using it when I'm not around. I like how he strokes his mustache. I've already sold out of my wares and the carnival hasn't even begun. So he's doing okay, even though everyone else is having problems of worrying. You know, we talked about the economy last time.
Yeah.
But he's doing okay. He sold out of stuff.
I wonder what he sells.
I wonder if everyone bought his stuff right before they like fled town. I better stock up before I leave, you know.
Yeah.
I read this already. I'm thinking of closing up shop so I can buy a gift for my wife and return to her in my village. I've heard that a stone called the Moon's Tear shines brighter than any other in the land. If you've got one, I'd really like to get it from you. My wife would love it. If you give it to me, I'll give you my spot here, deco flower included.
I love that they added this.
I was going to say, that's a new thing. They did not have that in Ocarina of Time when they added it for this game. That's where you can really, when you do something and you realize the places where it's got problems and you can make it better on the next time through because you know what the problems are. Like, oh, that was really annoying that you had to stop the conversation, put it on your C-stick thing and then restart the conversation again.
Yeah.
Which is just letting you open it up.
Or like you had to go through the entire conversation, put it on your C-stick, activate it, and then
try to hand it to him and that starts the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that stone! You must hand it over to me! In exchange, I'll give you my spot here. Deco flower included, yes? Woohoo! Land title deed. We can use it as toilet paper, right? You really helped me out. Now I have the perfect souvenir for my wife. She hasn't set eyes on a jewel or strange sparkling stone like this in a very long time. He's differentiating between a jewel and a strange sparkling stone. The title deed for this spot should be in high demand among Deku scrubs, but you already know that. If you don't need it anymore, you can always sell it. Or trade it. Or use it as toilet paper. Whatever you want with it.
Bye.
So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen and you. To you and you and you. Alright, you can get the piece
I
of
wonder
heart
how much
now.
lift he can generate.
We can't fly as well as business scrubs. Business scrubs must be like special Deku scrubs who can really fly a lot.
Yep.
He's carrying a lot of stuff with him too. Like he can store things. Like why are we not able to store things? Anyway. The door to the clock tower opens only once a year at midnight on the eve of the carnival. Was that a sign that you were reading? You got a piece of heart. Woohoo. This is your first one, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
They really want to make sure you understand how the mechanics here work.
Uh-huh. Braymore, don't be standing around looking at your feet all day.
Standing around all day yelling at Bremor.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew's right behind you. I wonder how they balance things where they have people walk, because as probably everyone already knows who's watching this, I would assume, you can slow down time, and so then like she'd walk more slowly.
Yeah.
So you have to find a balance where she's walking quickly, but not absurdly quickly in the normal speed, and walking slowly, but not absurdly slowly in the slow down speed, and like figuring out that balance. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I think about. Hello, Mr. Scrub. How about this rain? Do you like her umbrella? It matches her skirt, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a different color,
But same pattern.
but same pattern. Do you scrubs feel sad on rainy days, too? But thicker scrubs are supposed to like rain. At least one of us has a reason to be happy. Poor Andrew. Does she look sad? She does look sad.
She looks real sad. She looks super bummed.
Poor Andrew. Oh, ring the bell. There he is, Andrew. He's right there. No? No? The door of the clock tower opens only once a year at midnight on the eve of the carnival. Thank you.
Thanks.
Paddle.
That's relevant.
It's locked. Uh-oh.
Door does not open from this side.
Nope. Is Braymore staring at his feet? I can't tell that he is. Bah! I won't run! I'm sticking with my parents! I'm different from you cowards!
What's interesting to me is the sound, like the ambient sound effects, are doing a much better job of like conveying a feeling of busyness and construction work than actually is happening.
Yeah, like you're hearing hammering.
visually.
You're hearing hammering noises. None of these people are actually hammering. Like some guys are standing around, some guys are walking in circles holding planks. No one's actually doing anything. And also, that tower he's standing on gets taller each day.
Yeah.
So it starts at just one layer, and then it's 2 right now, and tomorrow it'll be 3 layers tall. And I think there might be a treasure chest on top of the third
There
layer.
is, but I think you need the hook shot to get it.
Yeah. Also, I think all of these guys on the 3rd day will have run away, except for Muta. But that's like in the evening. Recruiting soldiers, protect peace, and uphold justice with us. Core recruiter, Vissen. I almost said corpse recruiter, my goodness.
That's a necromancer.
Core recruiter, Vissen. Well, the plural of core is cores, but it's spelled the same way.
Yeah.
Just confusing. Oh, look, you actually see the captain's face if you look at the...
Oh, yeah.
Or a soldier, anyway. State saluting. Are those skulls? Well, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's interesting, though. This guy is talking about not running like the soldiers are wanting to do while looking at the recruitment poster.
Uh-huh. Yeah, oh, they're just coming back
is
again.
Andrew heading back?
Yeah, it is, and... Especially because my impression is that he actually does end up running, and the soldiers don't, because they have to stay on their post. Like, if you talk to them on the 3rd day, at night especially, I think they're like, I want to run, but I can't leave my post. Kind of thing. And they're like staring at the sky, unless you're trying to get past them, and then they'll stop you. But like they're staring at the sky, kind of like eek. But I think Muto's when you get to night of the 3rd day, Muto's the only one left. Like the other people are here mostly on the 3rd day, but once you get to evening of the 3rd day, they've all kind of gone. Ooh, give them money. Hey there, little guy. Will you deposit some rupees? Nowadays, even if people have money, they don't deposit any. Nothing. So for a limited time, I'll give you a special gift based on how much you deposit. For example, if you deposit 200 rupees, you'll get an item that holds a lot of rupees. Ha ha ha, that's what we want. All right, so how much? Really? 24 rupees. That's a lot. So little guy, what's your name? Link, is it? Got it. I won't forget your deposits. Let me stamp you with my special ink, which I think is more like a tattoo. I think he's going to tattoo us.
What if you had your bank account tattooed on your body?
That feels very unsafe. Like my bank account number. Also, if I ever switched banks,
Yeah.
that would be awkward.
It is dystopian.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It's like having a serial number or something, or like the, the barcode things,
Yeah.
like on your wrist. Ew. A QR code? No, that'd be terrible. Hey, relax. Doesn't he leave any marks? Okay. And it's not gonna hurt. It's invisible ink tattoo. He's stamped us with an invisible ink tattoo.
They're just trying to explain why you can use them through time.
I know. There. Now I'll know you when I see you.
I don't know how he keeps our books through time.
Maybe our stamp has how much money we've deposited, and he like updates the stamp each time.
Good thing nobody else has this invisible ink technology.
It's pretty remarkable. Spies really want it. All right, little guy. Now I've got you a total of 24 rupees from you. I've got a total. I can read, I swear. Come back and deposit some after you save up a bunch. I'm so bad at reading out loud. At least it wasn't a peppermint homework. All right, second day. With a wolf howling. Do it until 10 p.m. then.
Yep.
And you can like watch Zakon sell.
Oh, yeah.
So see, he's here until 10 p.m. and then he must go over to the curiosity shop, take off his toupee, put his glasses on. And then the guy that in the daytime is in, you saw those red rupees in the tree when you were at the observatory?
Yeah.
There's a guy in the tree trying to get them that is here at nighttime in the trading post. So I guess it must be at 10 p.m. that they switch off. We'll have to watch for that. We'll come back after 10 p.m. and see if it's the other guy. Welcome. What are you, a Deku Scrub? What are you, a Deku Scrubs kid? You can't play here. If you want something, bring one of your parents. Oh, you can even buy things from him. I love how they have this thing where he's itchy. And that's how you can tell. Because, like I said, he takes off his toupee and he puts on glasses. So he looks different, right? But you can tell it's the same guy because he's still itchy.
Yeah.
But instead of scratching his back, like, by sitting backwards and all that, he's trying to be more subtle about it, but he's still itchy. We'll have to come back and look at him to show that. Bomb shop. Presumably it's closed. Oh, never mind, it's open. And we can meet our first Goron here, too. I love how he runs from the back, though. You can't use any of them, but feel free to look around.
So you can just buy a bomb bag.
Or you can wait and buy a big bomb bag.
Yeah. So this is actually made from a certain monster stomach. This is actually something that's a really interesting point of detail, I guess. Mm-hmm. Most Zelda games, I feel like, in the like 2D era, or like 2D Zelda games, you can just buy bombs or buy bomb bags. It's definitely something that I tend to think of as like just buying a bomb bag is actually pretty common. And the fact that Ocarina of Time makes you find it as a dungeon item is a little bit weird. I think a lot of the other ones in the 3D space follow that Ocarina of Time trend, though.
Well, I bet one of the things is there are more dungeons. Like, how many dungeons are in Ocarina of Time, right? So, like, if there are
8?
If there are 8 dungeons, you need to
9
have, like...
if you count Ganon's Tower.
You need to have, like, 8 items, one that you get in each dungeon.
But the thing is, like, I think you just buy bombs and Link to the Past.
And there's lots of dungeons in that one, too.
And that one has a very similar structure, where there's 3 Light World dungeons.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, 5 or 6. No, it's gotta be 6 or 7 Dark World dungeons. Mm-hmm. So it has a similar...
well, it might be like
number.
It might have been how many items they decided they wanted to have. Like, they were already stretching by having a long shot and a hook shot both.
Yeah.
In Ocarina of Time, like that was already kind of like stretching of items. So maybe they kind of felt like, because in this game, the only item you get in the dungeon is like the main. I mean, there are like some mini dungeons kind of thing, but the main
bow stuff.
The main dungeon, yeah, you get a bow and then you get 3 different types of arrows. That's what you get in the dungeons. So when you're getting other items, it's completely outside of dungeons. So it is interesting, though, that they do it so differently, where you think about, oh, you get items by going to dungeons, but you can just buy it here. It is kind of a funny thing.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, how limited you are in ability to actually make money being stuck inside Clocktown.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, as a Deku Scrub.
Yeah. If you could use bombs, I could get you 100 rupees right now. So
yeah.
But we don't have bombs.
That's the exact thing. Is like, I can't jump far enough to get to the one...
100 rupee thing. Yeah.
One of the 100 rupees, and the other one requires me to have explosives.
Both in East Clocktown, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that shortly. I say shortly.
In, like, the next episode, maybe.
Whenever. Alright, actually, we should have had a larger bomb bag in stock, but it seems there was an accident getting it here to the store. I don't know when we'll be getting it now. And if we want to actually, I had mentioned Ooh, there'll be a fireworks show on the night before the carnival. You should go see it. Come again. I mentioned that... Hello, did you come to buy a powder keg? This is just between us, but I have a huge bomb that this shop doesn't even care. But just between us, and it's right behind you. Actually, that's probably not a powder keg. Oh, but my product is so heavy, I don't think you can carry it. I'm sorry I even brought it up. I mentioned earlier that we should check out the Curiosity Shop later to compare the Trading Post guy with the Curiosity Shop guy. But actually, another thing is that we might want to try to stop in there while Sakon is there. Between 12 and 1 on night 2 here, Sakon is going to be selling the bomb bag, I believe, that he stole. If we wanted to see if we can catch it, we could. Oh, he's actually got a sign with a rupee on it. I never noticed that before.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in the 3DS remake, they move him to be by the, in South Clocktown, like by where the owl statue is, where you can save once you have a sword and can do that. I like having him here, though, because it feels like this is more of, like, the commercial district.
Yeah.
So I feel like it makes more sense to have him here. We're finally meeting the dog. The dog wants to attack you. I think it's fun that they had the dog have different reactions to, like, he's ambivalent, you know, indifferent, whatever, to Link. Oh, look, he's going out to get drunk.
Yep.
And he is...
On their boozy milk.
He's scared of... That's such a kid thing. Like, you know, a kid's game thing. We can't say alcohol, so we'll call it milk.
Yeah, I think it was a common way of localizing some of that stuff,
I
because
can see that. But...
Japan is different.
Yeah. It has to be like midnight, I think. After midnight. Oh, we can go to the Curiosity Shop now if we want to, though. Or check the Trading Post. But...
Or we can try to end these episodes a little bit sooner.
we probably should do that.
And wrap this episode up here. I wanted to get them... I don't mind having that first episode be a little bit long, but I want these to be a little bit shorter, a little bit more manageable for people to watch. So I think we will go ahead and wrap up here.
And then next time, we'll go to the Curiosity.
Next time, we can go to the Curiosity Shop and the Trading Post area. So thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, everyone, take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye.